What's going on, everybody? Why are you out of frame again? Welcome back to the Download Queue episode 43. We're back. Kyle, it feels like it has been a year since we joined around this digital table.
Yes, it has. Crazy week, unfortunately, but that's okay. Move on.
We're still here,
Just
still
take
talking
care of
games.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, not all mad. There's hope.
If you're struggling with it's going to be a weird episode. I'm off. I was just saying my work has been infested with disease. I have maybe infested with disease. I have no idea yet. So, gonna be maybe an off episode, but we got stuff to talk about. Kyle's still been playing Dragon Age, having a blast. Excited to hear more about that. We got a slow trickle of Nintendo Switch 2 news, which is a weird thing I was not expecting. And we got PlayStation games coming to Xbox, Kyle. It's like we've been promising this all year, and the walls are coming down. But first, let's get into what we're playing. I want to hear about your Dragon Age story. I want to hear the updates because I have been falling behind sadly, and it gives me time to fix stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So Dragon Age. I'm about 28 hours, 27, about hours in. I just got to the Sage of Weishaupt. I don't think that's a spoiler that much. um, but that's just what the mission is called. So deal with it.
Deal with
But yeah, I just got there. So if you've been past that, I don't know how far that is. I feel like I'm about near the halfway point, if not right there. Right, but I still feel like there's a chunk of this game narratively to go. So we'll see. But I've really been enjoying it. I've been doing all the side quests for the factions, doing all the companion quests as they come. As soon as I go to a place and pick up 5 more missions, I do those missions, and then I continue on once I exhaust all available options for me, and I have to continue on with the story. Um, that's usually how I start most open world games, like wanting to do everything. So we'll see if that keeps for me, because not every game keeps me doing that. Eventually, I fall off, but like God of War Ragnarok kept me in doing almost. Oh no, I got the platinum on that. Got my platinum uh for a game there. So like that one kept me till the end doing everything. So we'll see if Dragon Age also keeps me there. But overall, I just really enjoy it. The story, the big story at hand is all right. But I'm seeing it's starting to pick up now, so we'll see how the payoff is. I bet if there is a payoff, I think things will start to make more sense why they are what they are. But it definitely feels slow at the beginning. Can't argue that, especially narratively. Uh, but yeah, the combat's starting to click for me. I'm getting unique items that have made me change how I'm playing the game. I got this ring that makes everything burning, everything I do, and then it ups my damage for burning. And then I got this great axe, which has the heavy weapons hit or the light attacks hit like they're a heavy attack. So I kind of respect into something a little different, and that's been working well for me. And the burning does hit hard with this warrior build that I'm doing so far. Um, just upgraded to a legendary item. Was able to upgrade there, so that's I know you jumped in the chat. One of the days I was playing this on stream and asked it, and we were talking briefly about weapon item level, how many there are. It seems like there's a legendary one, so that's cool. And that had added another effect to the armor that wasn't there otherwise. So, but yeah, overall, I'm liking it. I want to keep playing more.
Have you done I'm much farther behind than you. We talked about a little bit before we started. I'm still only like level 14, 15ish. Have you come across any like difficulty walls, so to speak? There's been two times now where I've I mentioned last week how they have the side quest where it'll tell you like, hey, you can't do this yet, come back type thing. I have two on my list now that want me to go fight bosses that are at least like 10 levels higher than where I am. And it really feels like you could do it if you put effort into it. And I've gotten both close like so much. But it's really been like, okay, I'm not supposed to be here yet, even though it's available to me. But like the challenge option is there if I want.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we probably are referencing the same exact moments. Um, there's two, the last, not the last two, but two of them I also stepped away from, and I went back to one. They were level 36 at the time. Um, Went back and I was able to beat that one, but then another one I still have yet to go back to. They were level 40, so I probably would be able to get through them now. Uh, I'd imagine, but I have not gone back. So they're kind of like these bosses that are at the end of some side quest chains that aren't really difficult, right? It's like go find the champion and take its essence, and then you unlock a gate, right? Like so you have to go find the tough enemy, and once you beat it, you get the thing that to open more of the crossroads area in the game. So I don't think it like yeah those seem just a little bit difficulty gate if that makes sense. Uh, but that's the only two I felt like, oh, I shouldn't be here. And it's a side thing, so that makes
Hmm.
sense to me. I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I came across both. I was like, I'm gonna give these an honest try. I'm gonna throw everything I can at it. And like I said, it's both like either I think one this morning when I was on had like AoE electric fields it was putting down, and that was just continuously slowly chunking at my health to a point I couldn't keep up. And I went
Mm,
in without oh, a little dwarf lady who heals you. I forget her name off the top of my head. So I didn't
Barding.
yeah, so I didn't have anyone to like back up heal when my potions are down, and I just you could just tell immediately. I was like, I'm not doing this, but still, let's give it a chance.
Yeah, definitely. It's depending on how many potions I have to use. I'm like, oh yeah, this ain't happening. It's
There's
an easy sign.
yeah, there's a the little bit I've had, I've come around to the combat that I'm flowing smooth with now. My new thing now though, and I don't know if it's just with my ADHD keeping up with things, but the main story and everything I'm having a I don't want to say hard time, but a struggle keeping up with. Like everyone's names and different all the fantasy words, like keeping up with what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Like I'm enjoying the gameplay mechanics. I like what I'm doing. But if you were to give me a pop quiz right now of why I'm doing half of this, I would be checking out. Which sucks because I'm putting time into the stuff. I'm thinking about my options and dialogue trees. Like I'm putting the effort in, but it's not sticking in my brain, sadly.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that ultimately doesn't actually matter. It's just like set dressing, and you kind of get in the weeds of that too. That's why I think like the first section does feel a little slower because it's really just a lot of exposition, a lot of setting the scene, not just in the main story, but also with all your companions too, because they have their own companion quests with some other issues that don't necessarily intertwine directly within the story. There's side quests, right? So yeah, they set up a lot very quickly, but yeah, it just makes it feel slow. I think.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've liked the discussion online slowly gone away from the controversy and people actually like talking about the different parts they either are hitting for them or making them stay away from it. And actually having the open conversation online now about this has been real nice. We got over that sudden hump of oh it's this reason whatever, but like actually seeing people dive in and go in a little bit more spoilery and things, and it's a nice turnaround. I don't think in the grand scheme of things this is going to land quite where they want it to, which if that matters to you or not, people are still having a great time. You're having a blast. I'm having a good time. Like, still a solid video game at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely deserves the game of the year conversations. I think so far, unless it really screws up the ending. But everything I've read and watched and seen, people are say it lands pretty well, loosely. So I'm excited to see it keep going. But this is a great video game for sure.
Yeah, that we should be learning tomorrow, I think. Uh,
Yeah, nominations should be this week. You think?
yeah, I think it's Big Nerd Gaming on Twitter who I follow. He's like went back and it's always like the second Monday on November he releases them. So we'll know sooner than later, which we'll need to have a
Yeah.
discussion about when we do our Game of the Year stuff. Because I don't know if I could do a full top 10 out of games just released this year because it was so much backlog stuff for me this year.
Well, I think just lands in like whatever game you play this year can be your game of the year.
Yes.
You know, even if it's Pac-Man. Like if you really, if that's your game of the year, that's your game of the year. No, you better have reasons for it though.
Good reasons. I'll tell you what. If I got around to Dredge last year, this by a mile would have been my easy takeaway for game of the year for me. I
Mm,
mentioned this to you earlier. Finished it this morning, bright and early at 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. What a video game! It's I praised it when I first started it, however many weeks back, but again, just that constant rotation of breadcrumb trailing you to the next upgrades you need, breadcrumb trailing you to the next story beat that ties into a different region you need to go back to, and just the amount of secrets and overarching like mystery to everything. It's great tonally, great gameplay, great story. Um, the endings alone, I went straight with what they were telling me to do for the ending when I beat it, which without spoilers is kind of a bad ending, but it immediately puts you back at the point before and gives you another dialogue option to kind of go out and explore more and kind of scavenger hunt your way to a second ending that isn't really any better, but it puts everything in a different perspective and just the way things happen and where you were kind of tricked and deceived to by the game. Like you're experiencing all of the aberrations while you're sailing, the fake ships, rocks coming out of the ground, these monsters appearing trying to get you. But then that starts tying into the actual gameplay of how you're playing the game. It's affecting that. And it kind of takes that whole narrative to like a new level for me that I both endings my jaw was like, holy shit, wasn't seeing that coming. Like just super solid. I can't wait for the movie of this. I can't wait for what the team does next.
that's right.
Like, it's solid. And it's the ending, if you're like, you could probably see it coming if you're a certain type of person. But when the twist happened, I was like, that's not, like, what? Like, just weird. I love it. What a game that I said last year it came out, and there was like a cult following, couple people like championing it, whatever. Didn't really quite get the light it deserved, I feel, and I'm so happy I got around to it this year finally. That's got Dave the Diver DLC. If you like Dave the Diver,
That's true. That's true.
so good.
That's cool.
Love Dredge.
Yeah.
I know you don't got time. We don't got time for a lot of games, but
Oh yeah, no, there's no way I'm playing this at any time.
I think that's been played some Duty today. But I think that's been about it on my end of things. Like I mentioned this week I have not been in the gaming mood. Still doing some WoW anniversary stuff. Still doing some League. Arcane season 2 started up this week, so
Oh, that's true.
trying to get through season 1 for the second time. Girlfriend hasn't seen it yet, so we're trying to get through that to get in season
Ah,
2. And they've done a couple cool tweaks in game now for it. Um Ambessa, a character in season 1, she's actually in the game now as a playable character, and they reworked one of the maps to be kind of the bridge that connects Piltover and the Undercity. So they're actually doing more in-game stuff for it as well compared to the previous year when for season 1 came out. So that's nice to see. Gotta make that money, that Riot money.
no, they have enough.
It's a small indie company making millions of dollars, Kyle.
Hit with layoffs.
Hit with layoffs.
Uh, anyways,
Yeah. Anyways, some newsy stuff since we got games out of the way. You want to start with some Death Stranding? Want to start with some Kojima, Kyle? And the
yeah.
weird sort of was never supposed to happen news that came out of this? Oh, I lost my thing. Uh, I believe it was what, Wednesday or Thursday? Woke up bright and early in the morning. Death Stranding 1 and now available on Xbox. Xbox Play Anywhere as well. Seemingly out of nowhere, considering this was always kind of a game that the Decima engine could only run on PlayStation. This was like a flagship PlayStation thing that could only work on their hardware. And surprise, surprise, you're out on Xbox now.
Yup. Yeah, this is super random. Just again, out of nowhere, just nonchalantly, it's out. Here you go. Go buy it. It's also 50% off. I don't know if it's still 50% off, but when they announced it, it was 50% off, so you can get it for $20 in the US on Xbox, both on Series S and X, and it runs. I haven't like not firsthand account, but seen some Digital Foundry testing and whatnot. It runs well. It runs pretty great for both on both consoles. So there you go. It's cool because Kojima now owns the IP in totality, right? Like it's his IP now, so he can do with it what he wants, and I think that's just a win for him. Obviously, to own your own shit. We know what happened in the past for him, but that's cool. I now the now the big question. I mean, first off, would you? Well, I don't even remember if you've played this now.
I have not. It was out on PlayStation 4 back before I got the PS4, so I was super late to the party.
Hmm.
Oh, and when Director Cut and PS5 stuff, I just never got around. I don't even know if this will make me do it. Again, I've never really been a super like Kojima fan. I respect what he does, but I mean, it's cool. Yeah, like you said, I'm curious what happened behind the scenes for something that PlayStation held so close to let them give this back in a way to him to own the rights. When, especially this year, their IP stuff's been kind of loose, and people have been bringing that up, and just their weird roller coaster of a year. Like, what's happening? Where they're like, we either don't need this anymore, or we're preparing for something else type situation. And what that means for Death Stranding too, because that's still kind of up in the air. I've seen people debate that. Like, if he owns the IP, does that mean the exclusive deal for PS for Death Stranding 2 is still a thing? Is it going to be a shorter window? Is it going to be? Is it just going to be Xbox day one? Like, it opens up
That'd be
so many
crazy.
more questions. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel it's going to tell us like if this is. I mean, like I think this might be the last game that has some type of exclusivity like that. I think that whole idea is just going to become more and more rare. We know Square Enix has said, "Hey, like we lost money on Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Rebirth and or remake and then Rebirth. Like they know they left money on the table. Like they didn't hit the metrics they thought, and like with even just a day one PC release, these that's going to be across the board what happens. And at that point, if it can run on a PC, it can run on an Xbox. We know that. So we already know Square wants to do that. This that tells me that's where the industry is heading anyways. It's not really about where you play it. It's just about what platform you prefer, right? It's great. Man, I don't know if Death Stranding 2 would be day and date on Xbox. I think,
do you think it
well,
comes
I
at
don't know.
all or just later?
Oh, I think 100% it comes over at some point, no matter what. The first one's on here. The first one's on there. So why would it not have that? If the walls are down, it's just have they one thing have they been working on an Xbox port? Not even a port, but an Xbox SKU this whole time, knowing this was going to happen, right? And then now they're just able to start announcing stuff. Or, I mean, they didn't even announce anything, right? It's just
Yeah,
this is a port, you know. But are they gearing up for like, hey, Death Stranding 2 is also on Xbox? I mean, think about it. They're getting Indiana Jones, a brand new Xbox owned game, right? Not the same level, but those walls are coming down, and there's a little bit of a delay, whether that is because they decided last minute and they need some extra time polishing it for Indie to make it to PlayStation 5, or is that just how they're going to handle exclusivities? We don't know yet because this is the first one, but maybe Death Stranding 2 follows a similar, 2, 4, 6 month exclusivity window, and then it comes to other platforms. With how many games comes out, I mean, that's not that crazy of a wait.
No,
I
I
think
don't think so at all.
however it releases, it's going to be telling of PlayStation's plans going forward. I think because this would be the first one.
What's I think at the beginning of the year, like when we were talking about this, I said by the end of 2025 there will be at least two more PlayStation games on Xbox. And let me tell you, we're not even through 2024 and we already got one. It's it's weird to me that people are still taking that as like a hill to die on online and still being so upset about this. Especially with something like Kojima's a big name. People know Kojima. He gets his flowers. Like he's known in the industry, but your casual person coming in who sees Death Stranding, like that's a super niche thing. And it's not automatically going to be something that grabs your casual person. So yeah, like we sort of everything else that's been cross-platform so far, this makes a ton of sense to get it in more hands as possible. More player
Yeah.
base is better. A game that's all about socially connecting with people, socially connecting with other people in real life is better. It's
Do you think
just
he brought that up too?
that is like a
And then
point.
yeah, and then like I guess you're right, quoting your own work of art
He's like, you guys have been
to
playing into my
justify
trap card
giving
all
you
along.
IP. Yeah.
Listen, it was wild that because there wasn't like a build up, there wasn't an announcement like,
Nope.
hey, this is happening. It was just, oh, this is out. No further comment.
Yeah.
Like,
Which it was already on PC Game Pass before. Like
mhm.
they took it off, which probably is because they were then planning a full proper release on it. But yeah, it was already on PC Game Pass once, so it's really not that big of a surprise, I guess. It's just yeah, now we all hope, hey, does that mean you're gonna also release it on, Death Stranding 2 everywhere else? Steam? Like even just a PC day one release, I think would be huge. But did PlayStation secure, some exclusivity deal?
Yeah. Which I would bet, I would place money we find out next month. I'd say it's a hard lock for this to Death Stranding 2 to get the release date at Game Awards
Yeah.
because they're still pushing 2025. Like Jeff's gonna get his money
Especially,
in.
even if there's not a date, maybe just a vague date of 2025, announcing more platforms would be a big announcement as well. No matter.
Put that Xbox logo up there before the release date. People gonna free.
Yeah, just put it, yep, Steam, Epic, it's everywhere.
That's what we're doing.
iPhone.
Yeah, like you
He's
said
like, I
with
got it
the
everywhere.
Indiana Jones thing, that was at a Jeff event too. That was his Gamescom thing. Like if someone's gonna get that rolling, weirdly gonna be him, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's just he's created the that's the place you do it at. It's worthy of those moments. It's built those moments. So
That's why the tickets are so
yeah.
expensive this year. To see the Xbox logo
Yeah,
on Death Stranding 2.
fucking $200. Jeez.
Wild.
Whatever.
Moving
Yeah.
on with Nintendo stuff. Also getting weird shadow drop announcements.
Yeah, during election coverage.
During they're in Japan, they don't care.
No, that was like we're gonna give them something.
uh
Hey, guess what? The Nintendo Switch, don't make it more expensive to import stuff, you idiots.
yeah, that Nintendo Switch suddenly became a $700 machine now.
Yep. But that will happen when it happens.
Yeah, this was on the 5th. So yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday. From their official Twitter account, we got a nice little release announcement with this is for Akawa. At today's corporate management policy briefing, we announced that Nintendo Switch software will also be playable on the successor to Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch Online will also be available on the successor to Nintendo Switch as well. Further information for the successor, including its compatibility with Switch, will be announced at a later date. Which we talked about when we were kind of predicting what the Switch 2 is going to be, and you were more on the side of it having compatibility, which I'm super happy to see because that's not a very Nintendo thing. Like if they're going to get you to buy those games again, they're going to do it. But going one step further and even having Nintendo Switch Online be cross, that surprised me a little more because that's something I feel like every platform they do it on, it's kind of always a we're at Square One again, and then we're gonna get the Square Two beats added in, and then we're gonna get backwards compatibility in this way added in. So just to do it all at once, like, hey, we're doing a new approach to this, opening it up a bit, I hope leads into more forward steps with the rest of the hardware, whether it be software or if they have accounts now like Xbox and PlayStation that like mean something and not add a weird 18-digit long friend code to add a friend. Like if they're getting caught up to the times finally, awesome, cool. I'm more excited for Switch 2 now.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, you would hope that that's the case, but yeah, this, I mean, it's all good news. Like, backwards compatibility is great. Everyone's cartridge will work. That's awesome. Thank you, thank you. Keep that going. Why wouldn't you when the Switch has just sold so much, so much? And you have people who have the Lite, which is a smaller, cheaper option, and all the way to, the OLED, and now Switch 2. It's great. But did you see the other metrics like that they posted as well?
Which
Because
ones?
they also announced some for yeah. Oh, here. Oh well, I don't know how I'm actually would share that with you.
We're
I
doing it
forgot.
live.
Yeah, doing it live. Sorry. Um, but yeah, they also posted these graphs that kind of went into some more metrics and whatnot with Pikmin, Kirby, Metroid, and Xenoblade Chronicles data from the Wii U and Nintendo 3DS titles to the Nintendo Switch title. How much many more units they sold being so for like Pikmin, they sold almost 8 million copies on Switch and only went to 2 million on Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. Like that jump just for a title like Pikmin is insane. And then Kirby has also jumped up 10 million
10
from
million,
the
yeah.
old units. I mean, 5 million basic or 4 million for Metroid. That's still that's a huge jump. And then Xenoblade went to 7 million as opposed to 1.4 behind. Like those are that many more people are interacting with all of these properties, and those four are like niche more so than what a Mario is, right? So I'm like, there's no way they wouldn't have kept those games and the platform that they have built, the user base that all these game sales represent. Like, yeah, they're gonna make sure they can keep those people within the system. And yeah, the Switch 2 is gonna be better, but you're not gonna be left behind and you're not starting over. I think it just makes so much sense. But those metrics I was really impressed by. I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's
That just
wild.
shows like how well Nintendo games are selling. I have bought Kirby and my wife has played through that. And I bought Xenoblade Chronicles, and I have not played that much of it. But like, hey, that's two games that I haven't bought in that franchise before that I've bought on the Switch. So there you go.
That's
I'm one
I
of those million.
one of those million. I wish I could find. I just did a quick look for it. I remember at the beginning of the year they released either some marketing material or it was just like a press thing where they like explicitly came out and said that Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, and Splatoon were like their core new big four IP. Like those are the ones going forward that they're gonna keep pushing. So yeah, to see these charts now and niche things like Metroid, which historically it's loved but doesn't reach those numbers. Even Kirby, like you said, like those getting pushes like that. Switch is pumping out numbers, and that's not just from whether it be kids asking their parents for games or just like us buying one or the other out of them. Because yeah, same thing with me. I've only done Kirby out of these four, but to get that sort of attachment still and growth naturally in just one console generation is nuts. If this was to be like an Xbox or a Sony thing, and it was these numbers, you would never hear the end of it. Like this would be battling points online for the next foreseeable year.
Yeah, no, that'd be insane. So we have to acknowledge like this is insane. These are good numbers for their properties. Good. Uh, but I mean, what are we trying to say here? Where do you think we get the Switch to? Let's just go there.
Like the announcement, or we're
Yeah, is this like the drip feed of like starting like all right, hey, here's a little bit of news. Let's get some stuff that we don't necessarily need to include. Let's clean up the announcement, the big announcement, by telling you some stuff ahead of time. Do you think Game Awards is likely? Is
As we get
that crazy?
closer, I do. I think when we talked about this, I was against it. I because in my mind, Nintendo was so far in their own bubble of they're like the rock star. They don't need to align themselves with things to make large announcements like this. But the more I've seen about it, and even just thinking back to when they announced the Smash Bros. DLC at Game Awards with Joker, like that was a huge thing. And now that this year has been really quiet and they're not really doing any massive announcements and have been very straightforward going into events of hey, this isn't going to be here, this info isn't going to be here. I feel like there's a chance almost, but if they do, I feel like they would have to do it as a swerve. Where going into the Game Awards, they would put something out and be like, hey, information is not going to be here except it actually really is type thing. Because at that point, they're just backing themselves into a corner of, oh, well, they didn't post a tweet, so it obviously is going to be, and people are going to be pissed.
Or there's the likelihood of it being the announcement of the announcement. It's like this next
Oh,
Tuesday.
God.
We got through the Game Awards. The games got to be highlighted. It's also a commercial show, but for the most part, let's celebrate the games. And this next week, we'll give you the announcement. We'll show it all off. It's bright and early at 6 a.m. for the West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast. Yeah, I'm
That's
trying to think like beginning of next year, if it's not, where that all fits in with everything else. Because if it is going to be its own event, like how late would they choose to make that announcement for other studios to either push their games back or for studios to make their game announcements for Switch 2? Because all those, you assume those studios are waiting in the wings for their green light. Like, hey, we're announcing this now. You need to have your trailers ready by XYZ date type thing. And just for other studios not making stuff of, hey, we have a new console coming out in June. Push your games back. Get out of the way. Yeah, it's just weird. We're getting a new direct tomorrow. Again, with no Switch information.
oh, I missed that. I didn't know that.
Oh, it's 10 minutes on Super Nintendo World, and the stream will be about Donkey Kong Country and Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Japan.
Got it. That's cool.
Imagine that's the thing. In the direct mall, there's just one kid in the background walking around with like a new device that we've never seen before.
That'd be amazing. That'd be great. I doubt that though.
10 out of 10. You can have that for free in Nintendo.
Man, we'll see.
We'll see. Nintendo's weird. Game Awards are coming. I'm excited this year for announcements just because I feel, again, like this year's been so good and next year's looking so good. Like, what other big titles are unannounced that we're going to try and fit in next year? Or where older stuff is that was announced before and hasn't been shown off. Wonder Woman's been, what, 3 years now? The
Mhm.
Captain America Black Panther game earlier this year. Like, there's so much that it's going to get harder to try and fit the puzzle pieces in of launch dates and releases and where things go in the next 12 months, which is exciting.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah, I'm excited to see what if and how PlayStation shows up in any way. They've been incredibly quiet the back half of the year, right? Or for the majority of the year. We still have that showcase that is going to happen later in the year, but yeah, we'll see. I'm intrigued by what they do just because, yeah, it feels like they haven't announced much outside of Ghost of Yotei. But maybe that's it. Maybe it is lighter. They had that live service push. We know that is going so well for them. Unfortunately. So I'm intrigued by what if we get anything from them. Wolverine, maybe. Last of Us stuff. Who knows?
Wolverine would be cool. I'd be down for Wolverine stuff, especially now that they kind of pushed all the hey, there's no Spider-Man DLC coming. Like that's over. We're moving on. got a couple month break in between that announcement and doing the trailer for the next thing, that'd be sick.
Yeah, yeah. You wonder when that is, or if they save it, for their own showcase sometime next year. Like they just got the PS5 Pro out, but there's nothing like they didn't have a game to go along with it, right? Like it just kind of came out and it's a niche product that runs things better and takes advantage of some cool tech, but for 700, that's it's not necessary at all. That's what seems based on most of the reviews I've watched. It works well, it's cool, but what's the PlayStation 6, right? That's when it's going to really take advantage of what they're starting to put into these consoles. But yeah, there's no game to go alongside it outside of just Dragon Age being the most newest thing that has a PS5 Pro upgrade thing. So we'll see if they have any announcement. I don't think so though. That's where I'm leaning.
I feel Jeff with Sony though is so, not to be disrespectful, but buddy buddy type. I almost feel like they have to be having something for him, whether it be, if it's not Wolverine, whether it be just kind of like a general hype package of multiple things they have. No, nothing new announcements, but drop a part of that Wolverine trailer, Ghost of Yote, Helldiver stuff if they have that, more DLC updates for that coming, like do some sort of hype trailer. I feel like they're not just gonna completely skip altogether when they haven't really had a big show of their own yet that reached up to
Yeah,
those levels.
mm. You just take advantage of what's already happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that'd be cool. We'll see. I would love a new game announcement. Even Wolverine, like we unfortunately with the leaks, like we just are expecting it and we're just waiting. Just come on, show us properly again. But it's whenever they want. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know.
Weird times. Everything's weird. Nothing makes
Yeah.
sense anymore. I need to, which, yeah, it's from Tuesday. If you're watching this listing live, 2 days from now, it'll be exactly a month. Countdown's on. I know me personally, I this morning I actually started writing up like rough draft for my Game of the Year awards things for the site. Just getting all that kind of baselined out and trying to like narrow the list down. Again, it's been more old titles this year, which I personally don't have a problem with. I'll gladly put Dredge at the top spot if it comes down to it, but it's exciting.
Yeah, we started thinking about other end of the year episodes too. So I started looking into that's what got me excited about PlayStation. Like I feel like we should be getting some type of announcement soon. But we're looking at doing a state of each platform towards the end of the year here. Talk about where we think about what we think about where each platform stands. That was a weird way of saying that.
No, just let them good. Yeah, I was looking ahead at the schedule, and yeah, it's. I think if I counted right, if we don't miss a week, which probably will because holidays, but if we don't, the 29th, the last episode of the year, would be episode 50, which would be kind of fun.
Oh, we should definitely. We could
So
probably make that happen.
I'm not going anywhere. I got no holiday plans after this week.
Yeah.
Ties are
Well, I
cut.
don't think the holidays fall on Sunday, and if it did, we just
No,
pre-record.
it would be, yeah, the Wednesday before or Wednesday after.
Oh yeah, no,
That's perfect.
that'd be fun. Yeah, episode 50,
We're getting there. Holidays
the
starting.
state of the industry.
Everything's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely want to do
Uh,
that after Game Awards, though, just to have that last announcement push, get the final pieces out, lay things down.
yeah, because it's what the idea is it being, grading them on this year, this calendar year, 2024. Yeah, pretty
2024.
straightforward. Yep. Yeah.
Well, have you done anything else? I Pokemon Pocket. Talked about that last week. I dove in finally. It's Pokemon. I wish I was so hyped going in, hearing everyone else talk about how excited they were and having fun with it. Which, like, the collection mechanics of it and like opening packs, like you said, that's awesome. Feels good. It's just the Pokemon battle style, like the card game format, doesn't do it for me. and it always feels very one sided. Very has to be meta based. Has to be everyone's kind of running the same thing, and it's don't even know how to describe like the overall presentation of the game. I don't want to say it feels cheap or looks cheap, but it's very basic and minimalist in a way of
Yeah,
like a lot of it feels kind of like an afterthought or like it was rushed compared to most
yeah.
Nintendo things. I feel.
No, it has a clean Nintendo Pokemon Health Center feel in the UI, but yeah, it's very minimalistic and plain, and it lacks. It doesn't feel good fully. It also feels just a little slow, like when you're moving from thing to thing. Like things just take a half second too long. Where I'm like, all right, like, and then when you're doing going into menus and out of menus, and into battles and out of battles, that adds up pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, but overall, I mean, I've enjoyed it. It's kept me back coming day over day, day after day, because you get the free pack every 12 hours, so that's an easy thing. The notification pops up, you hop in, but that's different than like Marvel Snap, which I was into and then fell off pretty hard from, and just it's downloaded, but I don't log in at all anymore. Uh, but like the collection aspect is a lot more engaging in that regard, and I've done some battles that definitely feels where it, like I said, that's where it slows down for me. So outside of a few times where I've put some actual time into it, battling, like that's just the thing that's there. It
Mm-hmm.
is fun though, like getting a deck and having it all synergize and work together, and like that feels nice. So we'll see how long it keeps me.
I
My daughter
almost
loves looking at the cards when we open a pack,
I love looking at the
so that's
cards.
fun.
So you get the ones that are like the first set, like jungle sets and stuff from like the original actual physical run. Like I remember these. This is that good nostalgia. I almost wish there was more though at launch, because even now, like you open your packs and there's like three sets, and with the little time I put in, like I'm well over almost to 200, I think already. Like you
Yeah, I'm
fill
like
up real fast.
450. Yeah, because then you get duplicates and you can like do stuff with the duplicates, but sometimes you want like more than one of those cards in the deck, so it actually becomes about building an actual deck to play with.
Yeah, I see that.
But yeah, it's not rare, but still rarer to get like a pack full of like new cards. I'm getting a lot of duplicates, which is it is what it is. I got some cool cards though. But yeah, get a free pack a day. I'm good with it.
It's been good at doing the Pokemon community thing it always seems to do, where hey, it's a new online mobile Pokemon thing. Everyone's all hype about it. It's like not to the levels of Pokemon Go because that was a cultural phenomenon when that dropped, but everybody's talking about this and everyone's getting into it and doing pack polls and my TikTok's been about it and Pokemon doing that Pokemon thing, bringing everyone in. Like, hey, all eyes on us. Give us your money. You want those packs? People like opening packs.
Yeah. No, they've had two events so far. They have a battling event right now. So we'll see how long they keep the cadence going. We'll see whenever they add another burst of packs forward. That's probably when I'll fall off. Honestly, it's easy to go with the first one, right? To be along with the first craze and the first chase. But then once it's like, all right, here's a second set. It's like I got to do it all over again, and then again with the third. So we'll see. We'll see their cadence, but it's fun right now.
Yeah, and the further it goes like that too, it's the weird balancing act of how do we still give new players either a fighting chance and compete against people who have been dumping money into it over and over again, which that goes into what I said with the battling thing in general. But as more packs get released and more things to keep up with, and multiple decks to keep up with and get packs from, that's part of the reason I dropped out of Hearthstone back in the day because there was a whole expansion for every class, every deck got new cards, like constantly funneling new ones in that you had to put money into to keep up with things, and it gets to be too much.
Yeah, we'll see how they balance that because it's not too bad with the monetization. I think you just can complete your collection faster.
Yeah,
You just buy Pokegold, but
give us the books.
we'll see.
I do like My girlfriend downloaded it, and she's like, "I'm having a great time on this," and she's like, "I need to get friends." And I don't know if you saw the tweet before she deleted it, but she saw your thing for friend request thing, and it was like trying to add you in the app. She's like, "Won't let me add him. Won't let me add him. Won't let me add him." I looked at it and she had like the trading card game live, like the old version of the game downloaded and has been playing that all week instead.
Oh, that's
She's
hilarious.
like, I put so much time into this and it's just gone.
It's the old one. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, she's like, I'm doing good. I can't get friend zone. I was like, she's like, I don't know why he has that friend code number because it doesn't have that. It just says enter the name. And I looked at it, I was like, oh no.
That's funny. That is funny. That's a bummer.
Time
That's
gone.
okay. It happens to the best of us.
Right.
Yeah.
With that, I don't got anything else this week. Like I said, it's a weird, quiet week in the funk on things. So, you got anything else you
Yeah.
want to bring up?
No, I'm going to continue on with Dragon Age playthrough, doing that, enjoying that. Hopefully, I could finish it this week. I don't think so, though.
You got to be
But we'll
close.
see. I hope so. We'll see, though. I am like doing a lot of the side stuff, though. So I think that's inflating my playtime, and I might be way earlier than I feel. So we'll see. But going to be playing that and continuing on with Call of Duty, camo grind, getting ready for the Warzone drop, the new map, new zombies map too. There's 3 now. That's really cool. So we'll be doing that. Got to add a stream. Got to do a stream of that at some point. So got to get a crew to rock with.
I'm the crew. I'm half the crew right here.
Woo. We can get more.
Is that new map
We'll
out or
see.
is that out on Tuesday? Because I saw like the content update for it.
I think it's Tuesday.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah, I think it's the 12th. But yeah, that'll be what I do.
Yeah, I'll be hopefully finding a new game to stream while also balancing Dragon Age and everything else. I did finally, after weeks of off and on humming and hawing on the website, I got a full list of 2025 for Xbox and Beyond up finally. So if you want to know what any singular Xbox studio is doing, I got it listed out for you. Not in chronological order because that's an extra step I'm not ready to put into it, but whole lot of hype, whole lot of excitement. So go check that out. Let us know what you're excited for because there's still a lot of unknowns when you actually like break down the studios and where they're at and what's announced versus not versus rumors. Like it's wild. And like
Yeah.
I said, next year especially for me, Doom, South of Midnight, Fable. I'm everything's made for me. I'm all in. Like shout out to Game Pass. My wallet thanks you. I'm a poor individual in the Midwest.
Yeah. No, it's a great write up. Go check it out. Please go support it. It's a great reminder for how much fucking Xbox owns. But I think also, speaking of one that you're looking forward to, South of Midnight, it looks like they had people come visit them this past week. And I think I saw on the 12th, we might be getting some more info on South of Midnight. So
Did they?
hopefully we get the, at least soon. I saw some individuals go up and they were posting they were at Compulsion. So
Ooh, I missed that
hopefully
entirely.
this week we get some tidbits because I want to know more about it, at least a date. I'm thinking it's early spring, but I don't think they announced the date. Not saying that, but hopefully it's a early spring game.
Yeah, I would say I would agree with you. Early spring or early summer. I feel
Yeah,
like there's a chance Doom could be out before then as the spring game. Doom.
really, I think Doom's fall.
See, if Fable lands next year, I think Fable has to be the fall game, and they're
No,
not
I
going to
think
put anything around it.
I think August, September, where Call of Duty was October. I think Fable could be early, like Starfield and like Starfield was there for like late August. Oh, it was late September this time.
Yeah,
But you have like an RPG and then an action shooty game. And I think those are different enough where you can have Doom and Fable not that far apart.
but
A
then
month apart is enough.
would you want to put Doom and Duty so close together though?
Is Duty even getting something next year?
It's come on, money. They sit here and listen to
It
our
is.
pleas for every 4 years and like
It
no
is.
no no.
Yeah, we'll see on this one. Who knows? They should wait.
God, yeah. What's the
Yeah,
other?
Duty, but Doom is so different than Duty. Duty is the multiplayer. People, it's not the campaign. It's the multiplayer suite. Doom is about a campaign. It's not about multiplayer. It's so different. But
No
is
way in
E Day
hell.
coming out? Because you can't have Doom come out with a Gears of War. Can't have that. That's too similar.
I think E-Day's got to be the next slash last console launched game. And I don't
That's
go
the
further and say it's
sending
got to be
song.
that and Halo on launch. Like you got to do both.
Oh, you think they're launch titles?
Yeah, and within the first 6 months, almost if it is 2026,
That makes it that
drop those
lines
in
up.
fall, and by summer of 2000, by 2027, I would even go as far and say you have the next Elder Scrolls out by then.
That makes sense.
Like they have everything lined up to do exactly what they did with 360 and recapture that release cadence, which would be killer.
That's this release cadence. This it's going to be fun to talk about the year in review. It'll be fun because yeah, they have Xbox has shown us they have a solid cadence and at least a solid plan of how to release games throughout the year and how to show them off with their various shows and whatnot.
Which
It's kind of easy to see where things might land.
yeah, which even this year, like it's not done. Like yeah,
No,
Duty's out. We still have Indiana Jones, as everyone knows, but the sleeper that would save anyone's fantasy critic. Not that it matters to us anymore, because victory, Lions. Uh, Flight Simulator is
you.
still out next week.
I call for a new commissioner of our league.
You can gladly take it over next year.
No, I don't want to run it. I want an unbiased person.
Unbiased.
I just think the commissioner won. So what commissioner runs their own league? Anyways, enjoy crowning yourself.
I will. I'm gonna get a trophy or something next year.
um
Yeah, Flight
yeah, no,
Simulator is still out.
I am very excited for Flight Simulator. I have it downloaded on my X, so when it like so it auto updates and I can remember like I need to beat Dragon Age by then. That's why I really want to get it done this week. Because I do. I think it's so fun what they added. I like Flight Simulator. You turn down the difficulty so it's not a straight simulation game, and you're just flying around. It's fun. But now that they're adding like careers and jobs, so you can go do stuff
Wilderness
with the flying as
photography.
opposed to just fly from one spot to another. I'm like, I don't care. Like I want to do barrel rolls. I want to try to fly within. So now give me an objective. I'm excited to see how that works, and so I can't wait.
Not long
I'm gonna
to
be a
wait.
pilot. Gonna do wildfire prevention because out in California, that's what we have to do. We're about to lose funding for it apparently as well.
You're doing in game what they can't in real life.
Hey, they try their best. They do their work. We need more funding, more firefighter, less tank,
Let's.
more water tank, less boom boom tank.
California's on fire. They're begging for you, please. Do the right thing, Gavin Newsom.
It's crazy how like fires happen the day after the election in California.
It's like they, it's like they planted them all along.
It's like that sucks.
Okay, we're getting out of here. We're going on a tangent again. Sorry for a smaller, weirder episode this week, but world's on fire. California's on fire. We'll be back next week, 2 days away from Flight Simulator launching. So, which I think I saw. Sadly, we're not getting previews for that. Like, it's not going live till it launches. So there's not going to be any reviews day of, which kind of sucks. But by next week, we'll have Game Awards to talk about some more and what got snubbed and my Infinite Wealth not being nominated again. Till next week. Catch y'all later.
Bye.